Hey guys, hope everyone's great. I know it's been a little while since I've been on my channel, but please excuse me. I have had all sorts of fun things happen recently. I actually recently got engaged on July 1st. So, really exciting. And anyways, just wanted to fill you in on that as well. So, the topic of my video today has a lot to do with Louis Vuitton, which I know a lot of my followers really enjoy listening to and learning more about. This is all going to be purely on how to find and buy pre-loved items. So I'm going to go through a couple different sites. I'm going to go through what to look for when you're looking for handbags or the handbag of your choice. I'm also going to talk a little bit about a handbag that I have my eye on and that I'm getting. And I'm going to talk about this lovely bag here that I have and kind of walk you through that. So let's actually start with that. This is my Neverfull MM. This is in the Damier Bean print with the red interior. I have it stuffed right now. I have actually talked about, I had the larger version at one point. So this is actually the MM, which is more of the medium size. This is one of my favorite bags. I literally think it's the best size in my opinion. It's kind of why I downsized from the GM to the MM. But this one's great just in the fact that, I mean, it holds everything. It's great for work. It's great on the weekends. It's not terribly big by any means. So anyways, it's one of my favorites. So that's kind of going to go into what we're going to talk about at the very end. But anyways, so one of my favorite bags and I love it. And it's obviously something that a lot of people have. A lot of people like to call it their starter bag. But I like to call it my forever bag. Anyways, so moving right along, a little bit more in regards to what I want to talk to video wise. So I want to talk a little bit more pre-loved. So pre-loved is kind of something I'm passionate about. I have noticed that there is a great following. There's either people who love pre-loved or there's people who love to go to the shop and buy brand new, or there's even just a mixture of people. I mean, I feel like I have kind of deciphered, I'm kind of in between. Like I love going to the shop and buying some new pieces, but I also love finding everything online for a great discounted price. So I think it's very much a treasure hunt, if you would say so. Anyways, so let's go down the list of different places. Sorry if I'm looking down. But anyways, the best place that I've noticed to look, first of all, is Fashion File. And I will include this all at the bottom. I'm sure you guys are all very familiar with Fashion File. They do price a little bit higher, but they do have some great deals from time to time. But that's actually one of my favorites, and that's just an online. I think they actually have an app too. And then secondly, Poshmark is great. Poshmark is great for selling. Poshmark is great for finding a deal. Someone's maybe wanting to get rid of all their Louis Vuitton, or I feel like I've found some really great deals on more of the small leather goods on there. Then thirdly, there's Tradesy. Tradesy is great. It's rather newer. I feel like Poshmark's been around for forever, but Tradesy is a tad bit newer. I like Tradesy because I think as a seller, it's really great. As a buyer, it's maybe not as great as Poshmark. I should have included. Poshmark is really nice because they have this really great service where they authenticate bags. So any bag over $500, they go through a service. Takes a little bit longer to get it, but they go through a service where they authenticate a handbag for you, and then they send it to you. And I haven't dealt with it not being authentic, so I don't know what they do. I'm sure it has all sorts of repercussions. So anyways, I don't know what happens in that kind of sense, but anyways, I like the fact that there is that type of process. There is an authentication process that it goes through. So going back to Tradesy, Tradesy is really great. I feel like I can really narrow down my search. And then there's also, I recently got involved in a Facebook group, which is kind of been my obsession lately. I'm a good Instagram friend. We have yet to meet. I will include her name down here. Her name is Francesca, and I will include, if she lets me, sorry, I'm just going to say Francesca at this time, but if she lets me, I'll include her Instagram. She has a really great Instagram, actually, which is kind of centered more around Louis Vuitton in general, but it's really nice. So anyway, she introduced me to this Facebook like Louis Vuitton group that I will include in here as well, for all the people that kind of like pre-loved things. I really, really, really like this authentication site. I like the fact that it's very well maintained, and the admin there is just really, really great at weeding out the fakes, the unauthentic sellers. It's just very to the point. The deals are great. The fact that she just is very on top of it. It has to be the hardest job. Like, I give her so much respect for it as well. But so anyways, it's a group. It's like a very elite group, and you have to kind of be asked to get into it, or you have to be invited into it. And they have all sorts of rules. So anyways, I really like this, and I've kind of been stalking a lot lately. I'm gonna go, so those are kind of the top 4 sites I've been looking at, and there's also the Real Real, which is an app. I personally feel like the Real Real is a little on the pricier side for the quality that you're getting. I feel like it's a little pricier. I have bought a Balenciaga off of the Real Real, and I really wasn't happy with the quality or the condition it came in. I don't feel like they gave me that great of a description. So when I got it, I was like completely thrown off. So it's not something that I tend to go back to. Anyway, so I keep going on tangents. I apologize for that. But actually, going back to Tradesy, another thing, I want to mention a couple great sellers that I really enjoy buying from, and there are a couple top sellers for Louis Vuitton on there. I'm gonna name off 2. One would be Salwa, and it's Salwa. It's kind of her profession. It's what she does. She sells. You can. It's guaranteed. Everything's guaranteed authentic. You'll see she has a really great, history. She has great reviews. And then there's also Cassidy's Closet, she's actually local. She's more in the Orange County area. So I will include their names below. They both are really reputable, and I think they are great resources to have when you're really looking for the perfect package. I haven't bought from Salwa yet, but I do have a friend who has, and has great things to say. And I personally have purchased from Cassidy. Actually, this little baby was from Cassidy. So yes, this was a pre-loved item as well. And she was great. Packaged it beautifully, ships really fast. All of the above. So anyways, that's something I can go on and talk about for a long time. Sorry about that. That was a ramble. So anyways, okay, so going on to my next point. So these are the things kind of that I look for when I am looking for a pre-loved item, because there are a lot of specifics, and I am very, very picky about what I like. Like, I love when the leather is light. I don't want a very patina leather. So anyways, or we can call it vachetta, either way. So I like it when it's very light, because in my mind, I'm like, it's new, it's just kind of what I look for. So I look for light. Obviously this is Damier Ebene, and this leather is a coated canvas, or a coated leather. So anyways, that doesn't have anything to do with it. And then on the other hand, I look for not always a clean interior. I actually have a really good way of cleaning it. So dirty interiors are kind of something that I can work with. I've kind of figured out a great thing, and I will definitely actually do a video on that if you guys want to see something like that. But anyways, so I look for a clean interior. I also look for the sides of the bags. So pre-loved items, they tend to be either really used or really, someone literally may have just had them sitting in their closet, never being used, never being touched. Maybe it was something that they never went and grabbed for. So anyways, some people have some very extensive Louis Vuitton collections. So some people may just have not ever fallen in love with a certain piece, and you may get a stellar deal, and that may be it. So Anyways, I look at corners. So corners are a big thing, especially on canvas. I look for so on canvases like this, there is, over time, this will kind of get glossier and it will lose a little bit of this print. So I look for that all to be perfect, intact, and beautiful condition. I also look for the handles like this. I don't like the ridging, so I will look for a very flush handle. What else do I look for? When it comes to like vintage pieces, because a lot of pre-loved items are vintage, I don't really fuss about the brass pieces. The brass pieces, you can use a product for brass as well. This will be another separate video that I'll have to talk about. So I'll talk about like how to clean a vintage piece. I'm hoping to possibly get a vintage piece down the line that I'll bring in and kind of talk you guys through how to clean it, so that you can get that great deal and be able to clean it on your own. It's kind of like a fun rehab piece. So yeah, the brass is not a big deal. What else is there? I think that's about all I look for. Otherwise, I kind of compare. So I do a huge search as to what people are selling it for. I don't want it for what people are selling the pre-loved item for. I want it for a tad bit less. And I feel like that's kind of where the treasure hunt comes in. If you can find a piece and it's at $1,400 and you're really looking for this item and it's, you know, it's something that you absolutely love, I would be the one looking for it at $1,100 or at $1,200 and figure out, I don't even need to figure out why, but I want it at that price. So anyways, this takes a little bit of patience, I must say. It takes a lot of looking through sites, all the sites that I mentioned. It takes a little bit of time. But at the same time, you're really going to get so much more bang for your buck. So patience is definitely key. And it's funny because I always say that I don't have patience, but I must have a lot of patience when it comes to that. But so yeah, that is a big thing to look for. Otherwise, I think that's pretty much it. That is literally it. I will include anything else that I think about that I kind of look for in my particular bags. But I sure do love pre-loved items. I feel like they all have a nice little history to them. Sometimes it's kind of nice. Like lately, I've been on the hunt for. I've been on the hunt for this same bag in the lighter color, the white. It's called Damier Azur, and I absolutely love it. I think that it's a great neutral piece. A lot of people say it's more of a summer piece, but I say it's my winter white, and I'm going to wear it all season long. Plus, I'm from beautiful California, and quite frankly, it never really gets that cold that that rainy that I need to be so, precautious about the color. And I think it's a great little neutral bag that I can wear to work, not too flashy, semi-flashy, but not too flashy. So I think that's another great point. So anyways, that we're gonna see what happens. I have a couple things on my list, but stay tuned. My next video will be my big reveal as to what I get. So it is in the process of coming. So anyways, I will have to film everything about that, and I'm really excited to show you guys, and you guys will definitely have to stay tuned. And I have a couple other videos coming up too. I have a lot going through my head right now. I'm like, I could do this, I could do that. Anyways, I hope you guys are all great. Please leave any questions down below. I hope to be doing this every weekend, since I also do have a new job, quite recently. But like I said, lots of big changes, and I again hope you guys are all doing great. Talk to you guys soon. Bye guys.